say, but like also for our channel, in my opinion, because this was our first anime, and in my opinion, like our channel grew so much with this show, honestly, and brought so many opportunities and so many new shows, animes.
This was the first anime that we tackled. Like we both watched like some animes when we were like growing up, you know, but like this is the first anime that we have watched as adults. It's like our first sort of entering into that world, and I think it is like I was never the type of person that like viewed anime as like a lesser format in any way. Like it was just like another medium for telling a story. I didn't think like it was more or less important than like live action.
I think it's sometimes even easier to tell a story, especially
because
if
like
it's
you
fast
have
fantasy,
like your bounds are
much
bigger.
Yeah.
And so like, but this is the first. Again, I never thought that it can't be like that good, but like I've never watched it, so like I had nothing to base it off on. And like
I think talked about watching it and trying
and
some.
like anime that we have watched, and like literally what a way to start. I will always remember the person when we like posted season 1 episode 1 and someone said your first anime is gonna be on Attack on Titan, and like they said it's gonna be very hard to like top that, and like they were right.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I have loved it so much. I have loved so many of these characters, and I'm so happy with the conclusion and like where we left them at. Like it brings me peace.
I agree.
You know, I feel at peace with it.
I completely agree with that, yeah.
And that is what I needed from this episode. Like, again, the things that we say about some things that felt fast and some things that are maybe left kind of in a way to your imagination, because it's not like fully said and concluded how everything happened the way it did. To me, those are all in a way like details that I can deal with. You know, I can like think about it, and I think there's like sometimes there's something nice about things being not fully resolved to like maybe give the audience like that room to make up what you think is gonna happen. Like the way even it ended. Like you can do a lot with that. You like what happened with the boy who went into that tree. Like it sort of left you with this open ending in a way, and I really like that. And so I'm very happy with the way that everything went, and with like
honestly me too. I'm very happy with, and like the more it stays with me, again I just want to rewatch it again. Like I would really like that.
For me, yesterday, I was rewatching some things, and I was like immediately like some things, because again everything was happening so fucking fast, and I don't know where things were gonna go. But like now, knowing where everything goes when you play the episode is just much easier.
That's
to
what
just,
I want
like,
to say. Like
it.
I would really like to just like play the episode again when feelings have calmed, when like I have calmed down, and like when I would watch it just like again with knowing the whole story, how it ended and where it ended. This was like just like the anticipation of everything. Like you know what's gonna happen and things like that. So, but like the more it stays with me, the more, even if it's possible, because honestly the second we finished it, I knew I was satisfied. I knew that like the story as a whole was good, great in my opinion, you know. So like but like again would like to rewatch it, honestly. I would
like to rewatch everything. I think that even would make things like, again, those things that were like I was like not certain about, like what could be happening in the past and whatever, that's like plot points that like I'm trying to remember in the moment, you know. But like again, all those things I find in the moment where I'm watching it like less important than like how our characters feel. And like what is happening between them.
Exactly.
You know? There was a moment where like you see basically the rest of the population, however many of them are like on this edge of Earth, you know.
I don't think that was. You think that? I don't think that was.
It was. I mean, I don't know, but like metaphorically, it could be presented in that way, you know. Like, but possibly wasn't. It was just like that. That's how I was like viewing the situation, because like, you have like, this is the end, and people are gonna fall off, you know. And you see this mother with this baby that is like wrapped in this like, just like the only thing that sort of had color there was that baby in red. And that like immediately left such a big impact, and I didn't know where it was gonna go, because like when I saw the mother and the baby being pushed and like nearly falling off the cliff, I was thinking of like Eren's mom, and like that she's supposed to be representing Eren's mom in a way, like how he has done this to other people and other kids and everything, but like that baby was taken from the mother and saved from all these people that are also on the very edge of the earth, who think like they're absolutely gonna die, and they're pushing that baby forward. Like all of them are pushing that baby forward to like save it, even though like maybe you're just like prolonging its life for like 3 minutes. They're all still doing it. I thought like that like really left a big impact on me, and I thought like that was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite scenes in this episode. It didn't have anything to do with our guys, because like
exactly,
all our guys are gonna be the most important thing for me. But like that, just like visual for the story and what it wants to tell, I think it was so beautiful.
Honestly, I think
save that baby.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that was at the end of chapter 2 actually, because it stopped. Like we saw when it stopped, and it stopped when they killed Eren. So like I think that was somewhere closer there.
Maybe, yeah.
And honestly, I agree. I think that was one of my favorite scenes of the whole show in general. It has nothing to do with our guys, but like it has nothing to do with plot. But in my opinion, it's, for me at least, it's much more important than plot.
It's about
about the message of the whole show. And that's also the thing that like this show has constantly been trying to save. Save the children, save the who you can save, or things like that.
However hopeless it may feel in that moment.
That was exactly like that, especially because of the way it was represented, where everything was black and white and the baby was red.
Yeah.
I mean, or at least covered in a red thing.
Like a red scarf.
Yeah, something like that, exactly.
Yeah.
And it lasted for so long, so that at the end they were just like pushing it, and I loved it. Like it was shown that way, that all the people, even that they don't know that child, they don't know, it's not like their child or anything like that, but like they were saving this little baby, you know. And they didn't give up, at least in that manner, because like they couldn't save their lives. But like later, because it was lasting so long and we were so close to her, and I thought potentially that's what the show is gonna want to represent, that it's not always hopeless. That maybe again you can't save everybody. They were not able to save themselves, but they managed to save this child's life. I honestly thought that was beautiful. That was, again, one of my favorite things of this whole episode.
I think that was one of the most impactful moments in the episode for me. Again, just for the whole messaging of the show.
Especially because something that I didn't expect to happen. And it left such an impact on me.
I mean, because like you're seeing such an awful scene. Like you're seeing such horror happening to this
Second,
world.
before that, we saw another child fall off.
Like it is so easy to fall into this like doom and gloom, and everything is bad and awful, and it just gives you this little like glimmer of hope, like glimmer of these people who are like saving this baby, you know, just like saving it, even though like it really might mean nothing. Like the baby could fall in like 3 seconds. Like you're maybe just like prolonging its life for like a minute, and yet they're still doing it. Like that is really, again, for what the show tells you its intentions in like moments like these. You know, it tells you what it wants to portray. And I just like that really left a big impact on me. Yeah,
and it's gonna stay with me.
Yeah.
Like of the whole show, that's definitely that message is definitely the thing that's gonna stay with me.
Yeah.
Not the plot, not the fighting scenes, but again, with the fighting scenes, the most important part were them saving each other.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's why I'm like all these things that like some people find like unresolved, which like I can understand completely. Those are not the things that at the end of the day I'm gonna think about.
No,
you know,
never.
What I take away from the show is the message and the characters and like the love that they felt for each other and that I felt for them. Like those are the things that like stay with me.
Yeah.
And like, so I was always just like fearful for that to like have the conclusion that I wanted to have.
Yeah, and that I agree with you. I was scared at the point of some things is gonna be not satisfying and not something that I expected, or that Aaron's character and actions are gonna be glorified in any way, even though I couldn't even have imagined that before. But like those are the things that like would make this not make sense and make this show like make me not like the finale.
We're talking about that in 318 when they were like deciding who they're gonna like save between the two of them, and like in my mind
always gonna be Armin.
Like in my mind I loved Erwin, like, and I know there were like many comments after that they like really hated that like Armin was chosen over Erwin, who like for them at that point seemed like, let's say, more important, that he had like a more important role like of a leader, you know, and Armin wasn't there like a leader or anything like that, but like people like Armin who are just like so good and decent are the only hope for our future. Like Erwin, everything that Erwin was doing was kind of also like his curiosity because of everything with his father and everything. He wanted to find out what it is, like he wanted to find out what is beyond the walls, where Armin was just like had such like beautiful motivation, and everything that like carries Armin is like what I think should carry everyone, and Armin is the type of person that like you save over anyone else. I agree. Legitimately over everyone else in this show.
I agree. Even though
you save him
through the show, he also did awful things, things that you can't even imagine that somebody like him would do. But
killed so many people.
He had killed thousands and thousands and thousands of people. But like he has done it again for the things that like he believes, which is peace and hope for the world and the people.
Yeah, and so like again, he is the most important person that you save in this show.
Exactly.
And we then like very close to that scene kind of see him being in the past, being in that moment, and being so like angry at himself and feeling all this guilt, because like he has killed so many people, and so many people have died for him to be able to move on, and he feels like he is indebted for the rest of his life, you know, and that he has to like pay back for the rest of his life.
Exactly, but like then his insecurities as well come there, because that's who he always was. He was always the, let's say, physically least capable one. The one who his friends always basically carried on their backs and saved physically again so many times. And now is the moment when he is supposed to save all of them, when he is the only one who has this power. And he's like stuck, and he's like seeing everyone like basically at the verge of death. Exactly, and he even said that like, why are you not like
why are you not moving?
Kept punching. Exactly. And he was like, why are you not moving? Annie's gonna die, Mikasa's gonna die, Connie, he mentioned all of them. Like he's the one who has to carry that with him, that he has to save them, and he is not able to, but again, it was heartbreaking, everything, but like that was always the thing with him, that he felt so much guilt.
And he has this like some type of like self-hatred, you know, because like that is the way that he is, like for someone who is such a like a good and kind soul to like go through these things, it's gonna make it very hard for him to like live with himself, you know, and like we can all say that like when it comes to it, he's just a really good, decent guy, and like his heart is pure, but like he has killed so many people, you know, and for someone like that, he's gonna carry that. And for someone like that, I like him to carry that, because like it's gonna, for him, that's sort of like, let's say, self-hatred that he feels for all the people that have like died along the way, that is motivating him to do the best that he can to like honor all those lives, so that like all of this has a purpose at the end of the day. I think there's some type of maybe parallel between like him and Eren, because I think also Eren has a lot of self-hate, but like his manifests in the complete opposite way to Armin's, where Armin's is like, I think, productive, you know, and like good for the world at the end of the day. And like, I don't want him to feel self-hatred.
Completely that different.
Yeah, I don't want him to feel self-hatred. But like, I don't think it's like a thing that like consumes him. I just think it's a thing that's gonna like keep him moving forward and pushing to that like peace that should always be tried to achieved. That was not grammatically correct, but you know what I'm gonna say. I thought that was like a beautiful scene. I thought like so many scenes of Armin's like throughout this episode, like the voice actor or whatever, I thought like was doing such a terrific job, because like he was screaming half the time. We're gonna come to that one scream later on, but like I love the part where he's like, where you can see that self-hatred and that like guilt that he feels for himself.
Let me just tell you, I disagree with you.
What do you mean?
I don't love the part where he feels self-hatred. It's just like with the life they have led and the way.
Yeah, of course. I agree with you.
I don't think that like something like that should motivate you, that you should feel something like that.
I know, but like the way that I want to like...
I want him to, when this finished, I want him to go to therapy.
I mean, he needs to go to therapy all the time. Like what I want, when he retires, you know, when he retires from being the ambassador of peace, I want him to be able to like, and I think he will, like to just like close his eyes and go to sleep and not be haunted by this, you know? I think that is gonna be, like what his life is. I don't think he's gonna be like
hopeful.
Yes. Yeah, but like because like I'm really thinking, I'm trying to like put myself in Armin's shoes. Like if I did that, like if I killed so many innocent people, how the fuck do you move on?
How do you move
on? You know, and like again, I think because he has that motivation, he has that power and ability to be the like bringer of peace. That is the most important role.
For him, yes.
Yeah, and so like I think by doing that, that's gonna give him like a peace of mind. But like that is motivated through that guilt, you know, that he feels for the things that he has done, which like I think is a healthy thing. Like you have done such an awful thing. Like you have to carry that with you.
Yeah.
Again, not in the way that it like consumes you, but in the way that like you can get the best out of it. Like similar to like Thorfinn in Vinland Saga. Like he has done so many awful things. But like that now at this point can keep him moving so that he honors the lives that he has saved, but like he still carries it.
I mean,
like he carries them with him.
Exactly, yeah.
And so I think like there is some like parallel though to Armin. Yeah. You reproduce and then you die. It's like a constant just like back and forth, and they were like throwing the ball in that manner. But like he said that, so basically he said like that he would have been happy to just like keep throwing and catching the ball over and over again, like such an insignificant thing, again, in the grand scheme of things. You can see so insignificant, but like life is just made up of those moments, and that is worth living for. You know, it doesn't matter that like death is coming and things are gonna be happening and awful things happen all around, you know.
Again, another amazing point that this show wanted to make,
and that is always like made, I think,
that it is worth living, that those small moments are what makes life so beautiful.
I think they have like said that, you know, I think through Mikasa, I think she said like often like life is cruel but also beautiful.
Exactly.
You know, like again, the purpose of the show I think has always been very constant and very clear. And like again, in this last episode it has still remained that way. Like what we said when we played it, I can't imagine it disappointing me, because like I don't think the messaging is gonna be anything different from what we have like seen. You know?
I didn't think he's gonna switch it up on us and like it's gonna change completely. It would make no sense. So it just in that regards completely stick the landing for me. Like in that regards it was perfect. Like the messaging, everything. That was the most important for me by far with this show. And that was the moment when they after the talk and when Zeke said that was the moment when basically they woke up, they invited or brought back.
I mean, see, again, these are like details, that I don't know what happened. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
you know, this is the pets, and like all the Eldians are connected to it, and like you can imagine in Eldians, even after death, there's in some way like present in it, like some sort of like an afterlife.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like, again, do we have like a clear explanation of how they're here? No, but like those little details, I'm just happy that they brought them. You know, I'm happy to see Bert. I'm happy to see.
That's how they brought them. And let's say I'm gonna call it woke them up, because with that, with that they managed to woke up their Titans as well in the fight. But like, I just want to say we had that scene when Zeke went to his, let's say, the man that raised him.
Yeah.
And told him how he would like to go back and just throw the ball.
Yeah.
And he also thanked his father, the man that
not gave birth to him,
but
gave sperm.
His biological father, and thanked him for giving birth to him.
Yeah, I mean, for like
bringing
him into this world,
bringing him exactly,
because like it was worth it.
Exactly. And that is another first beautiful thing to say, that like, especially because he was so down a second ago, he was so not motivated, he didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel, and he finally saw it, and now he is happy that he is living this life.
I mean, he is at peace.
He is at peace.
He is at peace with things that have happened. Like, there were so often he has done awful things. But like, there was some beauty, there was some joy, and it was worth living for, you know. However, now this sense, and again, like, we're in a very cruel place right now, but it doesn't mean that things weren't worth it.
Exactly.
That like, they have not lived a meaningful life.
And those are the small moments that are very positive in the show that I really like, that they took out of it, you know. Like, that we can take that
there
out.
was some light,
exactly.
This is not a tunnel. I mean, this is like a tunnel, but like, there is that light, and you just like keep going to it.
But like, I love that that's what he told his father, who was very cruel, who did wrong things to his son, and like, weren't a good father to his son, and the only thing that it is there to say that like, he's grateful that he's born, and that's it.
I think it like kind of gave Zeke closure with his dad as well, to just like be, thank you for bringing me into this
especially
world.
Because he was carrying so much anger.
I mean, rightfully
him,
so.